Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this session this morning. And I'm very excited that we are talking about etiquette tips for business success. Most of the time, people underrate the importance of how we conduct and how we interact with each other in our professions and in the business landscape. It is very important that we pay attention to how we present ourselves and how we interact with others. And business etiquette is the silent architect of professional relationships and business, influencing everything right from the first impression to the growth of our businesses. This morning, we are excited, we are fortunate to host Miss Hazel Muteesa, who is an expert in etiquette and image consulting. Hazel is the founder of Image and Etiquette Consultancy Finishing School. She's a certified image management consultant, having trained with Public Image Incorporated in the United Kingdom. She has worked with different companies, worked with individuals, helping shaping their image, and she has over 10 years experience in this field. Hazel has assisted organizations and individuals to understand and learn the importance of being able to project confidence and credibility, which is very important in our success. So, Hazel also has passion teaching young people and children. She teaches morals. She holds a bachelor's degree in business administration, a master's degree um, in management. And I would like for us to welcome Hazel. Hazel, you have 40 minutes to share with us how we can use etiquette, especially that most of the time we don't think it is important. We don't pay attention to it. But this time, we want to hear from you and take away lessons and go and improve how we do business, focusing on etiquette. Thank you, Hazel. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diana. Good morning to you all. I hope you are all well, and I'm very privileged to be, on this forum today and sharing whatever information I have with you. As Dr. Diana has introduced me, my name is Hazel Muteesa, Kasozi voice. And I'm very grateful to God for each and everything he has done for me. And just to dive in very fast, given that we have limited time, etiquette. This is something that we usually forget, but it starts from home. You know, what mom and dad taught us, but we tend to forget about, these things. So I'm just here today to give you a few tips on how to be able to thrive your business, what you are forgetting, and maybe what you've been doing wrong, what your employees have been doing wrong. So just to, jot down some few notes. And if you have some few questions at the end of the session, you could still ask. So etiquette, code of conduct within society, the things we do. In Uganda, we usually use the word empisa. How am I able to relate to other people? What exactly am I doing when I'm engaging, other people? So it's very important to understand that the code of behavior within a society. Here in Uganda, it's all about culture. We still have the culture, and I'm very grateful to God that, our culture drives us in certain ways, and we've got to maintain that. So this drives back again to business. How do I conduct myself in business whenever I receive customers? So the first thing I would say that tip number one, welcoming the customer. This is just very, very important. The first thing, even when you wake up, how do you greet somebody, so greeting, welcoming is very, very important. It's really sad that you are going to walk into a boutique, a shop, an organization, and the first thing when you get there, the person does not want to greet you, whether it's a receptionist, whether it's a salesperson, there is no welcome. I don't know whether some of you have watched the movie called Pretty Woman. And for those who have watched it, it's a movie of with what's her name, Julia Roberts. and she walked into a store to or a boutique to buy, you know, some outfits, and she wasn't given any audience at all. And these things happen. The people we have within our companies, within our shops, how are they treating the customers? Are they welcoming? Are they greeting? Are they interested? You know? So these are things that we need to assess. And if it's you, as you personally, who is taking care of the customers, how far are you going with welcoming the customer? You know, so I know some people at times can say, okay, I'm having a bad day, and you don't feel like showing that happy face. Hey, you really have to show that happy face. You've got to welcome the customer in all ways. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, taking time to explain with a happy face, with a smile, not with an angry face. You've got to smile. These are some things that we take for granted, but you know, just for an example, if one of you entered a coffee shop to buy coffee before maybe you go to work, or, you know, you're on a break, and the person, you know, selling you this coffee and probably, you know, a bagel or a chapati, they're not smiling. Would you be really interested in that coffee or chapati? Would you really be interested? You would feel awkward. You would wonder, have they paid this person? Is she being paid her salary in time? Did she sleep? Did she, you know, have a fight with somebody at home? The smile is very important, whether you're an employee or an employer. Smile is always important. So these are some of the things that we need to recall all the time. You've got to be interested in the customer. You've got to stay interested in the customers, and so that you are welcoming. It falls back again to welcoming. That smile, the smile breaks the ice, as you've all heard, you know. Whenever I smile, whenever I enter a room and I'm smiling, it breaks the ice. But suppose I entered when I was very gloomy, or of course, you know, whoever is watching me, you know, they wouldn't be, the body language will also change, and they'll either be anxious or they'll be scared. You know, it wouldn't be welcoming. So you've got to smile. Customers coming in, you've got to smile. These are some of the components that make our business grow. Okay. Tip number three, be respectful. Whether it's a young girl or a young boy or a grandma, remain respectful at all the time. And let's not judge. You know, somebody who has entered your office, do not judge. Receptionists, I don't know whether we have any people like who are receptionists in the audience. You are so good. You are so relevant to our businesses. Very, very important. That position you're holding, it's more like, let me give an example. You see the askaris at our gates? They are very important, whether at home or any business. These are the very first people that a customer will meet at the gate, and they will either break the image of the company or the image of your organization or business, or they will make it. So how that first person meets whatever they have to say, their face, the body language, whether they are smiling, the way they addressed, it's very, very, very important. So we've got to be very watchful. So back again to the receptionists. You know, there are so many times I've walked into places and a receptionist wouldn't even, you know, take time to understand who are you going to see, welcoming, and you know, giving extra information. They'll either get on their phone or file their nails, or you find a very big cup of a mug of tea and a donut. They're eating that, and it doesn't look good at all. So we've got to mind our manners as receptionists. We are the image of the company. We are the image of the organization. So we've got to be very, very, very mindful when we are at certain specific posts. So we've got to be respectful at the end of the day. So do not judge a book by its cover. Whoever comes in, whether it's a person who is dressed not properly, as you know, at times we judge people very fast. Always respect the person. Always respect the person, because you can never know who's walking into the door. So when we judge somebody by the way they are looking or what, you've got to be very careful, because you might lose millions and millions of money because you judge the person. So tip number 4, dress appropriately. No matter what kind of business you have, first impressions always last. Nowadays business is done of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the way you dress, the way your image is very, very important. You might lose a business deal. You might lose a customer. A customer will tell you, a customer who hasn't come on board yet, and you are trying to get the customer on board, probably the person wants to offer millions and millions of money, whether it's millions or not, and you are out having maybe lunch, but your body image, your image is very important. How am I dressed? Are my clothes ironed? Am I dressed appropriately? That's very important. Dressing appropriately is very important. There is always a season for each and every. With a customer somewhere, if I'm going to office, our attires have to be specifically for specific places. So dressing appropriately is very, very important. First time impressions always last. And there are organizations that receive customers on a daily basis. And if you are one of those people who is always in front of a customer, you've got to be very mindful on how you are dressed. When you're receiving customers on a daily basis, people who are working in shops or boutiques or stores, you receive customers on a daily basis. So how you address, depending on the scenario, depending on, I think, the environment within your organization, how exactly you're supposed to dress, you've got to be very, very mindful. Tip number 5, communicating clearly is very, very important also. Use clear, concise language. Avoid technical terms that may be unfamiliar to the people that are coming in to speak to you. So communicate precisely, and if there is a miscommunication or if the customer is not understanding, kind of like slow down and ask if they've understood, because you can actually see somebody's body language and you get to know that, okay, yeah, they haven't understood. So you can always ask and politely, have you understood? If I walked into a building and I was asking for directions, you were telling me to go on the 6th floor, and you tell me to turn to the right and then to the left and then to the right again, definitely I might be confused. So just try to repeat and say, okay, maybe I could take you there, or have you understood, or try to give the instructions again, so that the customer, whoever you are trying to guide to that floor, they are not lost, and they will know what to do. Okay, so that way you'll be able to actually build their confidence that where they are going, they're able to get there very well. The 6th tip, I would say, building relationships. Take time to build relationships with customers, showing genuine interest in their needs and concern. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very important. Building relationships, building that rapport. We have a mentality here in Uganda, unfortunately. A customer is going to come in, and when the customer comes in, that's the end of it. We feel that whatever they've bought, that's it. Instead of taking extra measures of getting the customer's information, and calling them later, maybe after a day or 2 or after a week, whatever you took, how is it? Do you love it? You could come back. Always take this information down very, very well, and take time to get to know the customer, build that relationship so that the customer can come back and the customer can recommend. Otherwise, that will be the end. The customer comes in and that's the end, and then you just wait for another customer. But if you can grow your relationships, building that relationship, checking on the customer, not stalking the customer, but checking on the customer, how whatever they bought, is relevant, it's always very important also to entice this customer, in a sense that if you bring in new stock, depending on what exactly it is that you are selling, that way, because I kept the information, because I checked on this person when they had bought the previous things, you are able to get back into that relationship, that rapport of talking, because you have been keeping the information about this customer. So it's very important to build relationships whenever, everywhere we are going. Very, very important. Okay. And yeah, just some extra few tips here is to be patient. It's very important. Still, code of conduct as etiquette, we must learn to be patient. We've got some customers at times who come into our businesses, and yes, we run out of patience. But at the end of the day, if we run out of patience, then we have nothing at all. We won't be able to retain that customer. So patience is very, very important. Patience is a virtue for all of us. Show appreciation also. That's also another tip. Showing appreciation, whether the person has bought or not. You've got to have a proper body language. You've got to have positive body language by showing that appreciation to the customer, that you love what exactly, them coming into your organization, your company, your shop. You are showing appreciation because without them, business wouldn't move, whether they're buying or not. Somebody's still coming in and checking in. You must show the appreciation. The other one is maintaining a professional online presence. If I was selling my stuff online, I've got to be professional at the end of the day. It's not about having the physical one-on-one and you show your professionalism, but even online, because life has changed, and there's a lot going on, and businesses are now online. So we've got to remember that whatever I was doing before, when I was having a one-on-one customer presence, I have to lift that and bring it, on the online, and still maintain the professionalism. It's very, very important to conduct ourselves still. It goes back into welcoming, it goes back into greeting, it goes back into smiling, it goes back into appreciating everything. You must pick what you were doing before and bring it on the online, and even more, you bring it more. So ensure your online presence, including social media, reflects your business professional image and the values. All these are very, very important tips. Okay. Then the other bit that I would like to talk about are the don'ts. The don'ts that being late, like one of them is being late, arriving, very late for a meeting, arriving late to open up your shop by 8 o'clock. If you travel to certain specific countries, people are very, very serious with their businesses. If I'm running a coffee shop, I need to have this place opened early, because I'm targeting a certain group of customers who maybe didn't have enough time to be able to open up their rather to have their coffee at home or their tea. And now I've opened up this. So it's really, really important not to be late. Open up your businesses, whether it's raining or not. As Ugandans, we kind of are still behind in that we are really, really relaxed. So still, again, the etiquette of a customer knowing that, okay, I know this person by this time, they are open at 7 o'clock, they are open at 8 o'clock. Very, very important. They know on this dot, so and so, Mrs. Muteesa will be open on that specific time. So don't be late. Whether you are an employee, arriving late, honestly speaking, is very bad. Finding a long line of customers for you, you are just, waltzing in at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock to come in for work. That's very, very wrong. So it's bad manners, it's bad etiquette, within the organization or company. So you've got to make sure that you don't run late. Okay? Avoid public criticism. Refrain from criticizing employees or colleagues in the public, as this can damage relationships, moral, and it's not a good image when customers are watching. Some of us who are employers, if your employee does something, we always have a way of to reprimand them in front of customers. You know, good manners always dictates, get this person, speak to them later, or call them to your office and have a one-on-one with them. Don't do it in front of the customers. That kills the business. You know, that kills the business. You know, there are certain scenarios whereby you see, like, you enter somewhere still, like maybe in a restaurant, and you know, the manager is shouting at this waitress, and you're like, couldn't that really wait? You know, couldn't that wait for later? Or couldn't he just ask her to go to, you know, to his office and they speak to him? You know, it doesn't make us look as very good bosses or good managers. It doesn't make us feel big and better or professional whenever we reprimand our employees in front of the customers. It shows that we are petty. You know, whenever you do that, it shows that you are petty. It shows that, you know, you don't understand maybe the HR policies, I would say. You don't understand how to go about certain things. So we need to avoid the public criticism. Whenever any of our employees are doing something, remember, don't do it in front of the customer. Call them and have a one-on-one with them. The other one is don't ignore culture norms. We're in Uganda. Again, we're not abroad, so we shouldn't forget our culture norms, you know. Be mindful of the local culture norms and customs, avoiding behaviors that may be impolite or insensitive, again, to the customers. Always remember that we've got to remember not to be impolite. Culture is very important. Culture is one thing that, as Ugandans, we are very proud of. So if we take away those culture norms and do things that are not supposed to be done, you know, one leaves wondering, like, okay, you know, have you adapted to a different culture, you know? And that really rubs anybody like in not in a proper way. Once again, code of conduct within society. When I speak about etiquette, it's all ingrained there, that the way the way we treat others, you know, it really affects us. It may affect people in a positive way, or it may affect people in a negative way. So we've got to remember that our customs, our culture here in Uganda are very, very important. Again, when I mention about customs, somebody may be wondering, what kind of customs are you saying? Greeting. I hinted on it before, but we still take it for granted. If Dr. Diana hasn't greeted me, I want to greet, you know? Sometimes, you know, people do that, you know? Your elders, honestly speaking, you see somebody who's in your elder, and an elder, you know, person who's 40 plus, or even who is older than you know, let the person sit first, leave the seat for that person. These are things that we need to always remember, you know. In lines, as Ugandans have seen, we don't like making lines. You're in a bank and you're not making lines, you know, and yet these are things that, as we were still young in primary, right, even in nursery, they would make us take on lines. You've got to make a line. All those are very good important mannerisms to remember, you know. When we sit down to eat, you know, how are you eating? All this still, given like you are still looking at customers, whether a customer is there, because we've got internal and external customers. Always remember that, okay, I'm at a dining table. How am I eating? How am I using my fork? Where is my glass? Am I taking another person's glass or not? How am I seated? In office, how are you seated also? Are you seated with your legs open apart, ladies? You know? We at times tend to forget, and instead of putting our legs together, our legs are open. Still, this goes back to culture norms, culture norms. Engage Joe today. How are you seated? Are your legs wide open? It still goes back to the men also. How are you seated? Hmm? You are in conference, and I know they usually put what would you call them, cloths on the table, and they are long. They may not show what's under there, but what if there is some misfortune and something moves, and people are able to see what they're not supposed to see. So we've got to be very, very mindful. Our image is very important. And then the other one is not to neglect customer service. Prioritize customer service respectfully, promptly, and also to the inquiries of the customer. Make sure that you listen very carefully, be patient, and answer accordingly. Answer accordingly. Do not rubbish any customer's requests, any customer's inquiries. Whether you are right at the gate as a security person, whether you are a receptionist, whether you are a manager, take time, ladies and gentlemen, to respect the inquiries of that person. And also, there's something that I would want to put out there. Whenever you see that a customer is feeling uncomfortable, it's your duty. It is your duty in that organization, in that company, as to make that person feel comfortable. Again, etiquette. Etiquette is telling you to make sure that that person feels comfortable. That way, whenever you do that, you fall into a class of being a lady or a gentleman, because that's what a lady or a gentleman does. Being a lady or a gentleman is not meaning like high society and all. No, it doesn't mean that. If you are able to make people around you comfortable, and this I'm putting into the brackets also customers, because it could be your colleagues at work, it could be your family members, it could be anyone. But now, since we are talking about our businesses, if you are able to make a person feel comfortable, why wouldn't they come back to your business? Why wouldn't they interact with you very well? So again, I'll stress, whether you are a security person at the gate, whether you are a receptionist, whether you're a manager, whether you are the head like the CEO, whatever you are, make sure that you make people feel comfortable. Whenever you do that, everything moves. You might find that somebody is scared. You might find that maybe they even have very important information to pass on. But because you made them fear, because maybe they don't have self-esteem and confidence, things go the other way, and they are not able to give their 100%. So it's your duty. It is your duty, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that your customers feel comfortable in all that they are doing. Okay, so I believe I have addressed most of the things that I had wanted to talk about. And just a few tips: address the negative behavior promptly, focusing on specific behavior rather than on making a personal attack. This is now addressing negative behavior. Provide feedback always. Develop a plan to help employees improve. Monitor progress. It's very important to monitor the progress of your employees, because with all these do's and don'ts that I've mentioned, now make sure that you as the boss, you know how to tackle, how to develop a plan to monitor the progress of your employees. How are they doing? Have I put CCTV cameras to watch exactly how they are treating? Most especially, again, with the receptionist. What exactly have I installed there to watch? Have I been able to do that so that I know that the customers are being treated well? Plus, also, have a one-on-one with this receptionist and try to make sure that she understands the goals, the vision, the mission of the company. And when they see you as the boss, being positive and doing good things with the customer and treating the customers well, why wouldn't your employees do so? So monitor the progress, consider disciplining an action if negative behavior keeps on going on. So basically, that's it. I'm hoping that I'm within the time frame of what I had to discuss with you. There's a lot, but basically, that's it. Any questions, please?
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yes, please.
Hazel Muteesa, thank you so much, madam. We appreciate your session. Thank you very much for sharing with us the important tips, important tips that we have to bear in mind for business success. I would like to appreciate you. Thank you for finding time in your busy schedule to come and talk to us. You've told us what etiquette is, and you've emphasized that it is a code of conduct in society. You've also notified us that it always, I think my take home is that it always starts from home. So everybody who is logged on this morning, we need to be aware that etiquette starts from home, and it is a code of conduct in society, and we need to know how to behave so as to have our business thrive. Thank you so much. We've noted all the different tips you've given us. Customers and their
Dr. Edith, your connection is unstable.
Be able to make our businesses thrive. I'd like to invite, without wasting any more time, allow me to invite. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm inviting. I was appreciating the manage the Q&A. Patrick.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Miss Hazel Muteesa, for that insightful presentation. I believe most of us have learned things that we had not even known before, which will impact us negatively. Thank you so much. And now let's delve into the Q&A session, where we get to hear from you, our listeners. If you have any comments, any questions or suggestions, kindly share. You can utilize our chat, and we also have the Q&A section where you can either type in your question, and then also alternatively, you can put up your electronic hand if you wish to speak. Let me just delve into the the chat session. We have a comment there from Professor Laura. She says the Okweteka syndrome, I don't know if I pronounce it well, either by the employer or the employees affects the business too. She also talks about the dress code, the sitting posture, the conduct, the gesture. We have a lot of appreciations there. Let me go to the question. We have one from Honorable Roy. Says that are there some weaknesses that men have? That is why many receptionists are women only. I'm going to get a couple of questions, like probably 3 of them, so that you can answer to go, then we can go to the next set. So that's the first one. Then we also have another one from Ethan Chisache, who says, how do we increase customer engagement between employees, such as waiters and waitresses, among others, and the customers, to make them feel more comfortable and not view a business as a business, but as one that cares for them as well? Is it a necessity to go that extra mile? And then finally, let me get a third one so that we can answer those and then wait for the other set. There's, let me see, Ms. Hazel, I request that you answer those 2 as I compile the next. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. And yes, the first question, are there any weaknesses that men have? Why is it that women have been, doing the receptionist? Thank you so much for this question. And I don't think it's about men having any weaknesses. I believe that it's been there for a long time that women have been holding that position as receptionists. But over time now, there are organizations, and I think even many organizations that you will enter, and you will find that the receptionists are male. There may not be so many, but it's just that I think something that has been there for such a long time, that a woman is able to you know, be able to represent more and have a specific image that they'll be able to draw customers and be able to speak to them well. But I believe men are very capable to do this very well. I've seen men receptionists, and they do the work very well, just like any other, you know, woman would be able to do. So yes, that's what I think. I hope I've answered your question, that men are very, very capable and their organizations, but it's just that because maybe there's that traditional beat that has been going on, but it's phasing out. It's phasing out. And the other question was, how do we increase customer engagement between employees, such as waiters and waitresses, among others, and make customers to make them feel more comfortable and not view a business as business, but as one that cares for them? To increase customer engagement between employees, such as waiters and waitresses, what I would say that depending on what exactly it is that that you are running in your establishment, and is it a bar, is it a food place, is it a coffee place? I believe any waitress who's dressed properly, who's able to articulate themselves very well, you know, and stand up straight and serve the customer well, they are able to somehow get to be able to interact with the customer. Good morning, sir, such as, good morning, sir. How are you? How would you like your coffee? Coming back again and asking, is your coffee okay? Would you like anything inclusive? And also maybe when they are done, do you have any feedback for us? To me, that's what I would think, how you would engage a customer before they leave, when they've paid. Is there any feedback? How are we able, you know, to change? That's how you're able to engage a customer, and that customer, I believe, would want to come back again, you know. So, and you would definitely be caring for the customer, making the customer comfortable. And it's not about disrupting the customer all the time, asking questions, but there are certain questions that one can ask lightly. You leave the customer to take their, whatever they are drinking, whatever they are eating, and then you just come back to check up on them. And in the end, ask for feedback, ask them to come back again, ask them to bring more people, you know. That way, you know, you can get things done.
Thank you so much for Abby answering that. We have one from Peter. Peter says some companies and organizations have weekly briefing and PEP meetings, especially on Mondays. They also have physical fitness sessions. What is the importance of these to the bottom line? We could answer that as we wait for the others coming. Back to you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first bit there, how you began it.
Okay, let me repeat. Some companies and organizations have weekly briefings and PEP meetings, especially on Mondays.
Right.
They also have physical fitness sessions. What is the importance of this to the bottom line?
Okay, well, thank you again for that. Wow, for companies and organizations who actually are having this, I would say, yes, you know, this is very good. And it keeps any employee very active. It keeps you on top of your game. And I believe that the HR is doing a very good job when they have these brief and PEP meetings, or even the physical fitness sessions. Wow, that's very, very creative, because it helps you not to be dull. It helps you to be able to think critically, most especially with the physical fitness, you know. And then with these briefs are very important, just to checking in that everybody, right from the top level to the bottom level, you are all on the same page. You are on the same page. Because if this doesn't happen, then things get lost along the way. So this is very important. And I believe this would really help the company a lot to grow. And if the company is growing, that means the employees are growing. I hope I've answered that correctly.
Oh, thank you so much. And I think the rest are appreciations about your presentation. Ethan says, thank you for the presentation and the answers. Then Sylvana says, thank you for the timely presentation. Since we're approaching the top of the hour, for any other questions, I request that they be shared on the chat and be compiled and shared with you. Otherwise, thank you so much for that presentation. We have really benefited from it. We appreciate. Back to the host.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Patrick, for managing the Q&A. And allow me to appreciate you again, Mrs. Muteesa, for ably managing the Q&A and interacting further with the participants. We appreciate you, and we would like to also thank you for the good time management. You managed the session well, and we appreciate your time. Thank you for accepting to come and discuss with us. I think you can see in the chat, many people are appreciating you. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any more time, I would like to invite Josh, are you there? So that you may make some few recognition. Mr. Josh Karuhanga, are you there to make some brief recognition? If not, I will invite Patrick
yes, Doctor,
back.
can you hear me?
Oh, Josh, yes, go ahead, Josh. I can hear you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Doctor. My name is Karuhanga Joshua. I work with the MUBS Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Centre. And I'm just going to make a few brief recognitions this morning. First of all, to thank the presenter this morning and everyone who was able to attend the session today. We thank you for always being with us every Thursday morning. We have just a slew of entrepreneurs on call this morning who are always with us every day. We have Madam Hope Jemima Kasimbazi, who is an entrepreneur and also works with PSFU, who is always with us every Thursday morning. We thank you and we appreciate you representing the entrepreneurs this morning. We have Rotarians on call. We have students that ably attend our sessions every morning. We thank you all for these sessions, Mr. Alex Muhanji, Madam Regina Nakayonga from Rena Beverages. We thank you so much. You should go and try her products. We also want to thank the entire MUBS family that joins us every morning. The deans, heads of department, the lecturers, the directors, we thank all of them, usually led by our head, Professor Moses Muwezi, who is not on call this morning, but is always with us. Very much. And with that brief recognition, I'd like to wish you all a blessed Thursday. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josh. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Hassan Bashir. Dr. Hassan Bashir, I'd like to invite you, since the principal is not logged on, I'd like to invite you to give closing remarks. Technical team, can you help me to unmute Dr.
Dr. Edith, please confirm if you can hear me. I don't know if I'm on mute.
Yes, Doctor, we hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate Dr. Edith Lasaliwa for giving me this opportunity to give the closing remarks. In a special way, I wish to appreciate Ms. Muteesa for the wonderful presentation she has given us. Issues of etiquettes are very crucial in our businesses. Ideally, we cannot succeed in anything that we do in our businesses if we do not have professional etiquettes. So thank you so much for this. It reminds me the common saying that people usually make, that customers can never have a good first time impression the second time around. What does this mean? That if the customer's impression is spoiled at the start, this can never be regained at the subsequent times. So meaning that we need to be very careful there we deal with our clients. We need to be very conscious the way what we display non-verbally and verbally, the way we talk to them, because this will kill the impression. So thank you so much, Mrs. Muteesa, for these key issues of time management. We know how this kills the reliability. In business, we normally say that if customers don't feel that your business is reliable, they will never come. But if we build a culture where we know that customers know that every 7 a.m. the shop is open and it will never close, whether it is Monday or Sunday, etc. They will always are very crucial in our businesses. Many times, the unfortunate bit is that the people that are taken to be less important, they are the most crucial people in our businesses. I shall emphasize the issues, the receptionist and gatemen or gatekeepers. These are the people who will kill the customer's first time impression if they're not doing a good job. You enter the organization and somebody is not smiling at you or somebody doesn't greet you, surely you can never come back. Or somebody insults you. It reminds me of a story where this old man went to a perfume shop to buy a gift for his daughter who had graduated, and he knew that the daughter likes expensive perfumes. So he enters the shop, asks the lady, what is the price of this? How about this? And then the lady says, kino tojja kugisobola, kankuleetere. Said, excuse me, what did you say? That, no, this is very expensive, you not manage it. And the man got angry and picked it, banged it down, and then asked her, tell me the price I pay, and I'll walk away. And the girl said 800. So you think 800 is too much? So many times in our businesses, we rush to judge the appearance of the clients and we make very wrong impressions. So thank you so much, Madam Muteesa, for this presentation. The Baganda say that ndimugezi nga ndimubuulire. So I think that all of us on call, we've picked something. Let's be clever people, let's be knowledgeable, let's have the professional etiquettes. The businesses, every time we're thinking of training our employees, let's look at all of them, including the gatekeepers and the receptionists, because these are the ones that kill the first impression of our good customers. So thank you so much. I don't want to make this another presentation, but I want to appreciate the Entrepreneurship Center for always organizing for us this presentation, such that we keep learning, we keep improving our businesses. Dr. Edith Vasalivo, thank you so much. Dr. Diana, and thank you so much. Let's keep on this, such that we keep learning our entrepreneurial skills we need to run our businesses. Thank you. Back to you, the host.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hassan Bashir, the Dean Faculty of Deputy Dean Faculty of Business Administration. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for the wonderful closing remarks. And thank you so much for always logging in to listen to the session. We appreciate you. I'd like also to add my voice to appreciate Mrs. Muteesa Hazel. Thank you so much for finding time to come and talk to us. We've learned a lot. And people, I'm sure, who are logged on this morning have learned all these tips for business success. I know some of them sometimes are taken for granted, but you've emphasized them. And I know from today, we are going to remember all these. I've seen somebody who has said, starting today, I must be able to perform well. We appreciate. I've seen somebody in the chat who is asking about GIEP This is Graduates into Employment Program. It's a training for graduates before they go out to the field. It's for finalists, finalists who are about to complete. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Our presenter managed the time so well, and we're also able to manage time so well. We'd like to appreciate the MUBS Entrepreneurship Innovation and Incubation Center, the director and your team. We appreciate you so much. And all participants who logged on this morning, thank you so much. We'd like to appreciate you all and to remind you to remember to log on next week, same time. Bye-bye for now and have a blessed Thursday.
Bye, thank you.
Gotta get up. You gotta get up and make a move. 'Cause the world will never see you until you do. No, they don't really care what you're going through. So you gotta show 'em, baby. You gotta show 'em the real you. You gotta give 'em what you got. No, don't let them see what you're not. 'Cause you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby. 'Cause nobody's perfect, darling. No, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. What do you do when you can't let go? What do you say when you just don't know how you feel? And you know nobody knows me. 'Cause everybody's got their own damn plan. So everybody's trying to find their way. And day by day you struggle in this world. You know you have to go. Just know that you still. You don't always have to be strong all by yourself. I said it's okay to ask for help. Now listen. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. You are a work of art that you didn't think you could spot. How dare you? Baby, you are strong. Always. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can be perfect, baby. 'Cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. You know that you can be perfect, but nobody's perfect, darling. I love you just the way that's why. I love you just the way that's why. Yeah.